If you underestimate the power of Daimoku and choose other strategies instead, you will inevitably lose in the end. No matter how clever your plans may seem, no matter how many theories or philosophies you study, it is Daimoku Nam-myoho Renge Kyo that ultimately determines everything. Nichiren Daishonin declared, "Myoho Renge Kyo is like the roar of a lion. What sickness can therefore be an obstacle? When we chant, we summon the lion's roar from within, a force that cannot be defeated by anything in this world." All other strategies, no matter how intelligent or useful they appear, are weak compared to the boundless power of chanting to the Gohonzon. Good fortune in life is not something randomly given, nor is it won by relying only on temporary advantages like status, money, or skill. True and lasting good fortune is accumulated only when you dedicate yourself to the path of Kosen Rufu without begrudging your life. Nichiren writes, "If you light a fire for others, your own way will be lit." This means that when we work for the happiness of others, when we stand firm on the side of truth and justice and dedicate our lives to spreading Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, we naturally accumulate immeasurable fortune for ourselves. A person who begrudges effort or avoids hardship cannot generate this indestructible fortune. Only those who stand up with the spirit of never retreating will taste the joy of true victory. Yet, prayer alone is not enough. Unless our prayers are united, the fight for Kosen Rufu cannot gain strong momentum. A single voice may sound beautiful, but a chorus of united voices creates vibrations that reach far into the deepest corners of the universe. Likewise, when we chant together in unity, the benefits multiply. The Lotus Sutra emphasizes the power of unity when it states, "If there are those who hear the law, then not a one will fail to attain Buddhahood." To make this a reality, we cannot walk alone. We must chant in rhythm with fellow practitioners, encourage one another, and form a great ocean of prayer that washes away the world's sufferings. No matter what others may say or do, no matter how fiercely opponents may attack, nothing can defeat the power of Daimoku. Hatred, slander, betrayal, misfortune, none of these can stand before Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. But it must be remembered that without outward action, chanting alone does not manifest as faith. Nichiren stressed, "Exert yourself in the two ways of practice and study. Without practice and study, there can be no Buddhism." To chant without action is like preparing seeds but never planting them in the soil. The true power of our faith takes shape when we act, encouraging others, speaking courageously of our belief, striving for justice in daily life, and contributing in a spirit of selfless dedication. The Gohonzon, the embodiment of the law that Nichiren inscribed for all humanity, penetrates through everything. Nothing lies beyond its reach. It can cut through delusion as sharp as lightning piercing the darkest clouds. A single-minded desire to see the Buddha means nothing other than this Gohonzon, Nichiren wrote. To pray to the Gohonzon is to speak directly to the boundless life of the universe. When we chant before it, we summon limitless inner strength, wisdom, and compassion. Faith is profoundly mystic. Once this faith is taken seriously, once the decision is made to truly rely on Daimoku, the benefits increase not by addition but by multiplication. One step can bring not one benefit, but 1,000. One breakthrough can bring not 100, but 10,000. This is the vast, unseen working of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. When you chant abundant Daimoku, you can open even the heaviest iron door, the most stubborn karma that blocks your way. Nichiren solemnly declared, "Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is like the Lion King, who rules over all other beasts, and so the Daimoku is capable of summoning forth all the Buddhas and protective gods. Nothing is so hard, so unyielding, that Daimoku cannot transform it. Even the most deeply rooted negative karma can be reshaped and renewed into great fortune." True faith is not an isolated pursuit. It is not meant only for private peace, but for shared transformation. When many people chant together, the strength rises like a gale wind sweeping over a plain. Alone, one may feel small. Together, A community chanting with shared determination creates a force that reshapes the direction of society itself. It is very simple. There is nothing but Daimoku. Daimoku determines everything. Nichiren taught, one who hears even a single phrase or verse of the Lotus Sutra and cherishes it, that person is like a ship that carries him across the great sea of birth and death. One phrase is powerful, but the deep chanting of Daimoku is like sailing on the greatest vessel, a ship that will never sink invincible in its journey across life's storms. Think of it. Daimoku holds more power than 1,000,000 guidance sessions, 1,000,000 words of philosophy, 1,000,000 pages of learning. Why? Because chanting is not about theories detached from the heart. It is the act of fusing our lives with the law of the universe itself, of speaking its rhythm with our own voice. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo touches places in the spirit that words cannot reach. So chant. Chant abundant Daimoku and pray directly to the Gohonzon. Ask without hesitation. Ask for strength when you are weak, for clarity when you are lost, for courage when fear surrounds you. Nothing is off limits, because the ultimate purpose of prayer is to reveal the highest life within your own being. When you chant with this spirit, everything you seek for the sake of growth and Kosen Rufu will come true. The road opens in front of you when you put Daimoku first. Everything depends upon how much you chant upon, how earnestly and consistently you move your lips, raise your voice, and determine in your heart. When you chant deeply, something marvelous happens. Suddenly you feel the desire to study more, to learn deeply about the teachings, to understand the words of Nichiren and the vast wisdom of Buddhism. Study arises naturally to strengthen and deepen the prayer. At the same time, even the work of daily life becomes more enjoyable, more satisfying. Instead of feeling burdened, you feel new energy, and tasks that once weighed heavily grow lighter. This is the transforming power of Daimoku at work in the most practical aspect of life. But even with faith, you will have seasons of sorrow, nights when tears soak your pillow. There are times when one meets betrayal, loss, or unbearable sadness. No matter how strong your prayer, these human pains can still pierce your heart. Yet it is exactly in these moments that Daimoku works most profoundly. Nichiren suffered many persecutions and wrote, "Winter always turns to spring." This promise is not abstract. It is the reality that no winter lasts forever when you chant. Your tears become nourishment for the deepest growth. Know this as well. In times of great sorrow, you are not alone. Though your heart aches unbearably, you do not carry the burden by yourself. The Buddhist heart, alive in your fellow practitioners, is always open to you. Just as Nichiren told his disciples, "I will be the pillar of Japan, I will be the eyes of Japan, I will be the great ship of Japan," so too does a friend in faith vow to walk beside you, to share tears when you cannot hold them back, to carry half your heavy load when it feels too much to bear. If you are happy, your joy is felt simply by your smile. But if you are hurting, your voice must not hesitate to ask for support. This is the great warmth of the path of faith, not solitary endurance, but shared struggle and shared triumph. Never forget, the world of faith is the most wondrous realm. It is unlike any worldly organization or fleeting movement of idealism. Here, together, we chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, summoning from the depth of our beings the courage of a lion, the compassion of a bodhisattva, and the wisdom of the Buddha himself. In this realm, everything is possible. There is no iron door, no mountain, no storm that cannot be overcome. And because everything flows from Daimoku, we return again and again to its source. In the Lotus Sutra, it is written, "At all times I think to myself, how can I cause living beings to gain entry into the unsurpassed way, and quickly acquire the body of a Buddha?" This vow is the same spirit of chanting Daimoku, not for oneself alone, but for all beings, for society, for the happiness of the people of the world. That vow, embraced in Daimoku, becomes the very force that reshapes destiny itself. Remember always, Daimoku is at the heart of everything. Underestimating it is like discarding the sun and chasing after the light of candles. All other strategies fade quickly, but this law endures forever. Chant abundantly and without fear. Pray with your whole being to the Gohonzon. Take every action in alignment with your prayer. Share your struggles and joys with your companions in faith. There is no greater path, no greater source of victory. Though the journey may bring tears, the tears water the roots of victory. Though sorrow comes, it cannot remain for long in a life ablaze with daimoku. Let your chanting awaken the infinite courage within. Let your voice in Nam Myoho Renge Kyo become the roar of the lion that leads all people to joy. This is the true way to victorious living, the way to transform all sufferings into the boundless light of Buddhahood.